Well, just like any other winter, Delhi is coughing once again. Delhi is choking once again. The Supreme Court is looking for further implementation of its plans. It's looking for answers on targeting of farm fires. But is it possible that this data on farm fires perhaps is incomplete? Is it possible that the average farmer of the Indian Northern Plain has managed to beat NASA, even as NASA tries to detect the instances of these farm fires? Essentially, have the farmers beaten NASA satellites? Well, the answer to that could well be a yes, at least based on the submissions that have been made by the amicus before the highest court of the country. How is that possible? We'll try to give some answers to that. Now, bear in mind that the satellites being used to monitor these farm fires across the northern plains is a NASA satellite, which is a polar orbiting satellite. What that means is that it travels from the North Pole to the South Pole at a height of about 200 to 1,000 kilometers. But the key word here is that it keeps traveling, it keeps moving, it is not static. What that effectively means is that it passes over the northern plains of the country no later than 1:30 p.m. This 30-minute window between 1:30 p.m. and 2 p.m. is when it actually detects these cases of farm fires. What we're given to understand, and this is what, in fact, the amicus shared with the highest court of the country, is that the farmers are also aware of this movement, are also aware of this trajectory, and are lighting their fires only after the satellite has passed, and that's after 2 p.m. What's interesting is that this data was also corroborated by a NASA scientist by the name of Hiren Jethwa. He has been writing on Twitter, or what is now called X. Hiren Jethwa has been writing about how over the last 3 years there has been a spike in the instances of farm fires after 2 p.m. The question being raised is, are the farmers trying to detect evasion by NASA satellites? However, what we're given to understand, and this is again a concern raised before the highest court of the country, is that when the data is looked at through the lens of a geostationary satellite, the geostationary satellite flies a lot higher. They orbit around the planet at a height of about 35,000 kilometers, and they remain static with relation to their position with respect to the ground. Now, what's important is that a geostationary satellite by the name of GeoCompSat-2A, which is a South Korean satellite, was again used to monitor, and now it was found that there was indeed, in fact, a spike in cases of farm fires, specifically after 2 p.m. And that is a concern that has now been weighing on the minds of the apex court. The Supreme Court is saying that there is clearly a data arbitrage here between a polar orbiting satellite and a geostationary satellite. And to that end, the Supreme Court has asked a very clear question of the central government to come back with more data from a geostationary satellite to get a real assessment of what the situation is on the ground. And then and only then, the Supreme Court said, can it begin to take action to target farmers who are lighting farm fires.
Thank you for watching CNBC TV 18, and do follow us on all our social media platforms for news, updates and more.